This video is on trinomials with a equaling 1. I like to call it old-fashioned factoring, but just a nickname that I made. First thing we're going to look at are perfect trinomials. Let's say you have a square and you want to know its side length. If you look at the diagram or picture that I have on the side, you can see that squares have 4 equal sides. So first thing we're going to look at is factoring x squared plus 8x plus 16. First thing I'm going to do is set up my parentheses. Okay, this will always be the first step that you're taking. Notice I have 2 x's. I'm going to put 1 x in each set of parentheses. I'm going to show you a sign with the tricks, but just for this problem here, you start at the back. I have a plus sign, which means my signs are the same. Then I move to the next sign, and I'm saying that the signs are both positive. So I'll put plus signs in both sets of parentheses. Then I'm looking at my numbers. It's an AM rule, which means my numbers that are going in these spaces here multiply to 16 and also add to 8. So you have to go down your list of factors and determine which numbers will meet that criteria. So if I need to multiply to 16 and add to 8, the number that will go in this space is 4. Okay, you want to double check yourself. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 plus 4 is 8. So for this square, if that was the square, the sides, each side length would be x plus 4. Here are some sign tricks. Also, you can call it the AM rule, which will help you with the numbers. So in regard to the sign tricks, you have the first example that has 2 plus signs, which is just like our last example. So your answer will result in 2 plus signs in your factors. The next one has 2 minus signs. This will cause a different result. You start at the end, which is a minus sign, which tells you that the signs are different. And then you look at the first sign, which is also a negative, and it tells you that yes, the signs are different, but the larger number of the two numbers will be negative. If you look at the answer, notice the 12 is negative and the 4 is positive. The next one tells you that there's a plus sign at the end, which means the signs are the same. What signs are they? They're both negative signs, as we see that in the y minus 8 and y minus 7. The last example has a plus sign and then a minus sign. So remember, we always start at the back. It tells you that the signs are different, but this time your larger number is going to be positive because the first sign is positive. If you look at the answer, you have p plus 5, so your larger number is positive, and then p minus 4. So even though they're different, the larger one is going to be positive. So that's just some helpful tricks that can help you determine what the signs are going to be in this type of factoring. Here's an example that's x squared plus 5x plus 6. Notice how our a is equal to 1. What I mean by a is this number in front of x is a 1. There's another type of factoring that we're going to look at later where you're going to see that a is not equal to 1, so we'll hold off on that and we'll look at that in a little bit. So starting with our x squared plus 5x plus 6, we're going to start by making our parentheses just like the last problem. Okay, I have 2 x's, so I'll put 1x in each set of parentheses. I'm going to start looking at my signs. This back sign tells me that my signs are the same. What are those signs? They're both positive. So now I'll have 2 plus signs. Okay, and I'm using those tricks to help me with the signs. Then next I'm going to use the AM rule. So as I said before, the AM rule helps you with the numbers, which means that my numbers will add to 5 and multiply to 6. So now I need to go down my list of factors for 6 and determine which ones will be able to do that for me. In this example, it will be 3 and 2. Okay, you always want to check your answers. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 plus 2 is 5, so I know that's correct. Another thing you can do to check your answer is if you FOIL this through, you should end up back at the beginning problem. The next problem that we have is x squared plus 8x minus 20. This time our signs are a little bit different, so I'm going to start by making my parentheses. I have 2 x's, I'm putting 1 in each set of parentheses, and now I'm looking at my signs. This tells me that my signs are different, but my larger number is positive. So I'm going to start by putting a plus and also a minus. I'm going to make myself a little note here that this one is the larger number. So now I'm going to begin my AM rule. My numbers are going to add to 8. and multiply to 20. The numbers that are going to work here are 10 and 2. Okay, remember my larger number goes in the first with the positive sign, and then 2 in the second set of parentheses. Now I want to check my work. 10 times 2 is negative 20, and 10 minus 2 is 8, so I know that's correct. As I said before, you can also FOIL these two factors, and you should end up with the same as the original problem. The last problem I'm going to look at today is x squared minus 6x plus 8. This time our signs basically were switched. So I'm going to start by making my parentheses. I'm going to split my x's since I have 2, so 1 in each. My signs are the same, but they're both negative, so I'll have 2 minus signs. And then I'm using my AM rule. So my numbers are going to add to negative 6 and multiply to 8. Okay, what's going to go in there will be 4 and 2. Negative 4 times negative 2 is a positive 8, and negative 4 minus 2 is a negative 6. So we know that that's correct. Okay, that's the end of our video.